The live broadcast of Today with Jenna and Friends started with Kylie Kelce entering the set with his characteristic confidence and easy charm, exchanging handshakes and smiles with Jenna and the other co-host, but the cheerful energy quickly shifted when the conversation veered toward recent controversies and pointed questions about his professional decisions, leaving Kylie visibly tense and cautious as he tried to navigate the barrage of inquiries. What began as lighthearted banter soon escalated as Jenna pressed more insistently, attempting to elicit reactions with layered questions that, while seemingly casual, brushed against personal and professional boundaries that Kylie had made clear. Before the interview, and as the cameras rolled, the tension became increasingly palpable, mirrored in the furrowed brows of the crew, the subtle stiffening of the co-hosts' postures, and the audience's murmurs as they sensed the friction building. As the discussion grew more intense, Kylie's responses became more measured yet firm, his tone edged with frustration but controlled, signaling his unwillingness to participate in what he considered an unfair and invasive line of questioning. And despite Jenna's attempts to maintain a friendly, engaging dynamic, it was clear that the dialogue had crossed a line that Kylie could not ignore without compromising his own principles. The moment reached its peak when a particularly challenging question prompted him to stand abruptly, a decisive gesture that carried the weight of finality, and without further explanation, he left the set in full view of the cameras, leaving the co-host momentarily stunned, the live audience whispering in shock, and the production team scrambling to manage the unexpected disruption as the morning's carefully planned schedule unraveled, instantly transforming the segment from routine entertainment into a viral spectacle defined by tension, confrontation, and a walk-off that would dominate headlines and social media feeds alike. As Kylie exited the set, the atmosphere shifted from polished cheerfulness to palpable tension, with the live audience murmuring in confusion and craning their necks toward the empty spot he had just vacated, while the co-hosts struggled to maintain composure, trading awkward glances and attempting to fill the sudden void with light chatter and transitions to upcoming segments. Jenna tried to steer the conversation back to familiar topics, but each line of dialogue seemed to fall flat, weighed down by the absence of the guest whose presence had dominated the set moments before, and every pause was amplified by the hum of whispered speculation from the audience and subtle movements of the production crew behind the cameras. Backstage, producers and assistants hurried to adjust the remaining schedule, debating whether to cut to commercial early, insert a pre-recorded segment, or improvise content to regain some semblance of control, while camera operators repositioned angles to obscure the empty chair and maintain visual flow for viewers at home. Yet no technical adjustment could fully mask the tension that had overtaken the studio. Meanwhile, social media buzzed instantly with clips of Kylie's walk-off, fans dissecting each gesture and word, some praising his assertiveness, others criticizing his decision to leave, and the show's PR team scrambled to craft messaging that acknowledged the incident without escalating controversy, fully aware that in the age of viral media, even a few seconds of live footage could spark global conversation. The remainder of the broadcast proceeded under an unspoken cloud, with every laugh, every segue, and every camera movement now tinged with the weight of the unexpected confrontation, transforming a typical morning program into a study of tension, professional boundaries, and the unpredictable nature of live television in the social media era. Once Kylie stepped off the set and into the quieter corridors behind the studio, the controlled chaos of the broadcast gave way to a brief moment of solitude, though the tension of the confrontation still thrummed in his chest and made every step feel charged with lingering frustration. He clutched his phone, scrolling through the first notifications, seeing the clips of his walk-off already spreading across social media, and the realization hit that the incident had quickly transitioned from a private moment of principle into a public spectacle with fans, critics, and entertainment outlets dissecting every expression, gesture, and word, crafting narratives that ranged from admiration for his assertiveness to judgment for abandoning the stage mid-interview. A member of his management team followed closely, offering reassurances that statements and clarifications could be coordinated, but Kylie's focus remained fixed ahead on the exit doors leading outside, a silent signal that he had chosen integrity over comfort, and that no immediate explanation could dilute the clarity of his decision. As he reached the waiting vehicle, he took a deep breath, feeling both the weight of public scrutiny and a sense of relief for standing his ground. Aware that the incident would be replayed and analyzed endlessly, but confident that he had protected his own voice in the face of invasive questioning, and that in the unpredictable world of live television, asserting personal boundaries sometimes required the boldest action of all, simply walking away. By the time Kylie's car pulled away from the studio, social media was already ablaze with clips of the walk-off, trending hashtags, and a flood of commentary that dissected every nuance of the confrontation, with fans praising his courage to stand up for himself while critics debated whether leaving mid-interview was unprofessional or theatrical. Twitter threads, Instagram stories, and TikTok videos multiplied rapidly, each adding new angles, reactions, and interpretations, turning a short live segment into a viral cultural moment, and forcing entertainment journalists to rush out stories and op-eds, speculating on the reasons behind his sudden exit and analyzing how it reflected broader issues of celebrity boundaries, media pressure, and live television dynamics. Meanwhile, Kylie's management and PR team worked tirelessly, drafting statements that balanced explanation with discretion, aware that one poorly worded comment could escalate the situation or misrepresent his intentions, and coordinating with the network to ensure messaging remained consistent, professional, and sensitive to public perception. Memes and fan reactions proliferated, capturing the drama in humorous, critical, and supportive ways, reinforcing the story's momentum across platforms and amplifying the stakes for both the star and the show. The rapid spread of the footage highlighted how live television incidents no longer remain confined to the broadcast itself, but immediately take on a life of their own online, creating a complex, multi-layered narrative that combines the personal, the performative, and the public, and making it clear that Kylie's walk-off was not just a studio event, but a viral cultural phenomenon that would dominate conversation well beyond the morning's airtime. Back inside the Today with Jenna and Friends studio, the tension was nearly tangible as the co-hosts and production crew struggled to regain control of the broadcast, with every glance toward the now empty chair serving as a reminder of the confrontation that had just unfolded live. Jenna and the remaining hosts attempted to resume normal conversation, leaning on pre-planned scripts and segues to fill the void, yet their smiles and laughter carried an awkward undertone, betraying the anxiety beneath the surface as they navigated a set suddenly dominated by absence and uncertainty. The camera operators, floor managers, and technical crew worked frantically, repositioning angles, adjusting monitors, and coordinating cues to minimize the visual impact of Kylie's departure, all while maintaining the polished flow that viewers expected from a morning show. Yet no amount of behind-the-scenes maneuvering could entirely erase the palpable tension or the awareness that social media was amplifying every second of the incident in real time. Audience members, both in studio and at home, whispered, pointed their phones toward the stage, and shared clips immediately, making it clear that every awkward pause and every strained joke would be scrutinized, discussed, and interpreted as part of the narrative surrounding the heated exchange. Even as the show pressed on, the energy had shifted irrevocably, reminding everyone that live television is inherently unpredictable, that celebrity boundaries are a delicate negotiation, and that a single heated exchange can redefine an entire broadcast, leaving a lasting impression on both viewers and participants alike. Behind the scenes, the production and PR teams were in a state of controlled chaos, racing to manage the fallout from Kylie's unexpected exit, with executives, producers, and publicists huddled over laptops and phones, drafting statements, monitoring social media trends, and coordinating responses to journalists' inquiries. Calls flew between network representatives and Kylie's management team, discussing the tone and timing of any official commentary, balancing the need to clarify the situation without inflaming speculation or sensationalizing the walk-off, while The legal department reviewed potential ramifications and prepared guidance on how to respond to public and media scrutiny. Simultaneously, social media managers were tasked with curating content, responding to fans, and addressing rumors, drafting multiple versions of posts that could acknowledge the incident while protecting Kylie's privacy and professional image, all in a matter of minutes, knowing that each second of delay allowed speculation to grow and narratives to solidify in the public eye. In the control room, producers adjusted the remaining broadcast segments to compensate for the absence, coordinating camera angles, segment order, and filler content to maintain a semblance of normalcy on air, while floor managers quietly signaled hosts and crew to keep energy high and maintain engagement despite the lingering tension. The combination of live production pressure and the social media firestorm underscored the fragility of live television, revealing how quickly a single heated exchange can spiral into a cultural moment, forcing both celebrities and production teams to navigate the dual realities of immediate audience impact and the relentless amplification of public opinion online. Throughout the chaos, the team moved with a singular focus: contain the disruption, preserve the show's integrity, and prepare for the extended conversation that would follow across media outlets, fan communities, and entertainment news cycles. Fully aware that Kylie's walk-off had transformed an ordinary morning broadcast into an unanticipated spectacle that would dominate headlines and online discourse for days to come, once Kylie had left the studio and settled into the relative quiet of his car, he allowed himself a moment to process the whirlwind of events, feeling the lingering adrenaline of the confrontation mix with a sense of relief for having upheld his boundaries and refused to be pushed into an uncomfortable or unfair exchange. His phone buzzed incessantly with notifications, showing clips of the walk-off already circulating across social media, headlines popping up across entertainment sites, and messages from friends, colleagues, and fans pouring in, each offering praise, critique, or curiosity about his abrupt departure. And Kylie recognized that what had felt like a private act of self-respect had instantly become a public spectacle open to interpretation by millions. He reflected on the intensity of live television, where split-second decisions are broadcast to vast audiences and instantly dissected, and the pressure to maintain composure and professionalism can clash with personal principles, forcing a choice between compromise and integrity. Despite the noise, he felt confident in his decision, knowing that walking away was necessary to protect his voice and agency, and that allowing the exchange to continue on terms set by others would have compromised both his comfort and his credibility. As he watched the city blur past through the car window, Kylie contemplated the broader implications of the moment, recognizing that celebrity encounters with media often become symbolic of larger conversations about respect, boundaries, and the expectations placed on public figures, and he felt a renewed sense of clarity about how he would approach similar situations in the future, balancing engagement with assertiveness and self-respect. Even as the first waves of commentary and speculation began to spread online, Kylie remained focused on the principle that had guided his actions. Aware that while public opinion could fluctuate wildly, the knowledge of having acted in accordance with his own standards was an unshakable anchor amidst the chaos of viral media, live television, and the unpredictable scrutiny of fans and critics alike.